Okay, jadi hari ini kami akan saya akan tutupkan video saya, lepas tu saya akan fokus kepada skrin untuk presentasi lah hari ini. Jadi kalau boleh saya akan izinkan saya continue dalam bahasa English. Okay ya? Okay. Senang sikit sebab banyak terms tu dalam bahasa English. Okay, so for today's presentation, we will go through some of the resource available in UMT library. Okay, the main one is basically the CABI Compendium. Currently, UMT has Aquaculture Compendium, Animal Health and Productions, and Crop Protections Compendium. Okay, because today the focus is for the fishery faculty, so I will focus more on the Aquaculture Compendium. So the other resource that UMT library has access to is CABI ebooks. Okay, you have 6 years worth of collections of CABI ebooks, and then we're going to go through how for those who want to access remotely, maybe later on, if any librarian from UNT want to chip in to demo how to log in remotely, I can make you a host for you to do a short demo, and then we're gonna go through some of the tools available in CABI database to help user to make an effective search. Okay, and we can look through some of the search result and how you can manage that. So briefly, I just give you a bit of background about us, CABI, okay, which stands for Center of Agriculture Bioscience International. It is not a corporation, but rather it is a not-for-profit intergovernmental organization. So it is set up via a UN treaty level agreement. So basically, it is an agreement between country to country at the highest level to ascend as a member country of CABI. So currently we have 50 member countries, and the headquarters is based in the Wallingford in UK, and we have a regional office, Southeast Asia regional office in Malaysia, hosted by Madi. This is where I'm talking to you from today, where I'm sitting in the office. Okay, and basically we have close to about 450 staff across the world, based in 20 locations. A lot of these are in developing country. Okay, and most of our activities, we sort of address issues related to food security, research and international development, especially related to agriculture development. So in order to support our work, our development work, CABI also publish a lot of scientific information, including those that you would be where we're going to go through later on. Okay. So this is a snapshot of our member country. So you can see Malaysia is a member country of CABI, and also we have Brunei and some of the larger countries like Australia, China, and as well as Philippines, for example. Okay. So what we do mostly, okay, is basically to help farmers to grow more or lose less of what they produce, and combating threat to agriculture and the environment from pests and disease by improving access to the scientific knowledge. So this is where a lot of the material that we publish, as you can see later on, is very much catered to practical, purposes to solve problems in the agriculture. So when CABI work in in the field, okay, we usually partner with a lot of local agency. For example, here in Malaysia, we partner with MADI, MPOB, DOA, and a lot of other maybe crop of the future, some of the researcher, okay, that in our project work. Okay, just a bit. All right. And most of these, as you can see, it is to help to achieve what we call the sustainable development goal, especially number 1, no poverty, 0 hunger. So quality educations by providing the content, okay, promoting gender equality, responsible consumption, tackling climate change, climate issues, okay, and also environment and partnerships. Okay, our expertise, CABI have our in-house expertise or our scientists in terms of food and nutrition security. We have a group that is also working on climate change and biodiversity. And in most of the project work that we do, we try to include gender, okay, women in the decision making, as well as young or youth in agriculture. So of course, you know, when we talk about agriculture, we're talking about livelihood of the farmers. So in order to raise the livelihood of the farmers, they also need to have the capacity to trade. Okay, so one of the area that we are focusing on is also on the economic development, trade, and as well as value chain. You know, in order for people to either export, to have the capacity to export, and to meet the compliance or the regulations requirement. So these are the areas of CABI expertise. We are very well known in terms of crop health expertise, especially in IPM, integrated pest management, biocontrol. And more recently, I think we have also developed capacity in terms of communication and extension. So basically to communicate to people who need the information, okay, so that they can use it to solve the problems that they have. And in line with the climate change and the technology, so CABI has also developed capacity in terms of digital development, as well as using technology like satellite technology to in order to forecast, okay, pests and diseases, okay. And then there is also capacity on the invasive species as climate change, you know, and the world get warmer, other species will start to come into to areas where they were not there before. So we also have expertise in that, and to support all those 4 areas, we also have publishings, and then the capacity in the value chain and trade. So in terms of the knowledge or information services, so later on, I think we're gonna look into a few of these, which is accessible via UMT library, okay, to provide the know-how or evidence-based information to actionable advice for decision making. So we're gonna look at books, print books, as well as ebooks. Some of the online resources like the compendium that you see, and also we can look into some of the tools available in the compendium. For example, the horizon scanning tool that is available in the crop protections compendium, where users can use that to scan for possible threat of pests and disease from, let's say, from bordering country or from the plants that is imported into Malaysia, for example. We also have the educations and training. One of the example is our e-learning module. Can be published crop pest diagnostic and crop pest management e-learning module, okay, where you can reach out to more people to to gain knowledge in crop pest diagnostic and management. And then beside subscriptions resource, CABI also publish open books, okay, which is also accessible via UMT library, and some of the free resources that I'm going to show you later on or share with you. And then lastly is the CABI Open Access Agriculture and Bioscience Journal, which I would also share with you how you can access this journal, as it is basically it's an open access journal. Okay, I think lastly, maybe that I just mentioned quickly, beside agriculture development and working with farmers and local agencies and government in terms of tackling problems in agriculture, CABI also have another division called the Bioservices Divisions. Basically, this division it provide what we call microbial identifications or molecular services, you know, like human. I think a lot of people have heard of the PCR testing for COVID, okay, for plant health, for pests and diseases. You know, there is also this technology for identifications using PCR or molecular technique. So these services is available in the facilities in Agam in the UK, as well as in our lab in Madi, Sedang. Okay, so for those who need this kind of services, it is available. Okay, beside that, CABI also hosts the third largest microbial what called fungi collection in the world. Okay, in the facilities in the Agam, I think they kept close to about 30,000 living specimen of fungi, okay, where people can either use it for you know, for identifications, or maybe they want to culture it for commercializations. You know, they can basically request this from CABI facilities. A little bit of introductions about CABI. Ada soalan tak so far? Anything that you like to ask about? You want to know more about CABI? No? Okay. So in that case, if no questions, I would just continue with the resource that you have or you can access from UMT library. Okay. So basically, there are 3 compendium, as I mentioned, is available in UMT. So CABI Compendium is quite a unique resource. It's basically like an encyclopedia reference mixed media resource that you can one can access information to help with diagnostic and decision making. Okay, so basically there are 6 compendiums. Okay, the top 5 is basically available for subscriptions, whereas the last one, the Invasive Species Compendium, it is an open access resource, so that is available to access for anyone. Okay. So in the compendium, I think the content is slightly different from other database that we are used to, which is mainly journals. Okay, the core content in the compendium is basically consists of data sheets. Okay, and within data sheets, there is a lot of different type of content that is available. Beside the descriptive text, it also include images, maps, and distribution data from authoritative body like OIE for animal disease, EPO for European Plant Protection Organizations for plant pests and diseases, as well as from CABI. Okay, and beside data sheets, it is also supported by a lot of references, basically in terms of bibliographic records from journals, and mostly are full text. And the bibliographic records, it has a back file of 10 years. So you can search through some of the references that you can use. Most of these bibliographic records are from journals. Okay, about 89% are from journal, but it also include book chapter as well as grey literature. Some of it are conference proceedings or report from important international and national body or agency. Okay. So as you can see here, each of the compendium has a separate access point, has a separate URL to access. Okay. For crop protections compendium, as you can see, it ends with CPC, which is basically the acronym for the compendium, and then HPC for animal health, and then AC for aquaculture. Okay. Excuse me for a while, I need to silence my phone. Just kejap ya. Okay, I'm sorry for that. So let's go into each of these compendium to show you or to just give you a little bit of introductions about the content that you can expect from each of these compendium. Okay, so as the name suggests, okay, Aquaculture Compendium basically cover all the economic important cultured aquatic species, or what we call the farm species. So it include not only animal basically the finfish, the crustacean and the mollusks. It also include plant, which is the algae and the seaweed, yeah, that which is cultured or farmed, okay, for food. Okay, beside the major the aquatic species, it also cover the disease of the aquatic species, the disorder, and the production, the caging system that people use for the aquaculture farm. Okay, so what you can expect to find is it cover around 300 plus cultured aquatic species. So these aquatic species can be in the freshwater, brackish water, or at sea as well. Okay, and as I mentioned, it is include seaweed and algae as well. Okay, and then within each cultured aquatic species, it has the related disease and disorder, and it also comes with topics related to production system, the issues, especially environmental issues, and there is case studies that you can refer to. Okay, what is different between compendium and other database that maybe a lot of researchers are familiar with? Okay, like for example, some of the for example, Elsevier or Springer or Wiley, which are mainly journal. So as I mentioned, the compendium is basically it is something like an encyclopedia, but it's a relational database. So you can refer from one data sheet to another data sheet based on the relationship. Okay, for example, if you look at a particular maybe cultured aquatic species, for example, tilapia, you can look at the pathogen, okay, the disease that affect that particular species, as well as some case studies related to maybe tilapia culture, and also some of the system that people use, for example, in the tilapia culture or the case study related to that particular species. So from within one area, you can link back to maybe a pathogen. Maybe it doesn't it affect not only one species. It maybe affect maybe 10 or 15 species. So what are the, you can also look at within the pathogen, you can look at what other species this pathogen can infect, okay, the host of this particular pathogen. So you can link in and out between the data sheets. Okay, later I'm going to show you a live demo, what does this mean. Okay. So who can use this? Basically, those who are involved in fisheries, okay, can use this. You'll find some of the content here relevant. Okay. Beside that, people who are in environment, coastal zone manager, development, farmers, people who produce feed and chemical for aquaculture, people involved in the system, you know, the irrigation and water engineers, as well as, of course, veterinary, people who look at the disease of the cultured species. Okay. Next, is the Animal Health and Productions Compendium. As the name suggests, okay, these mainly cover animal for food. Okay, so most of the species covered in the Animal Health and Productions Compendium are livestock. Okay, major economic important livestock like cattle, ruminant, poultry, pigs. Okay, so and as well as the product. Okay, that is the meat, the egg. Okay, or the milk. Okay, from the livestock. Okay, so as I explained in the Aquaculture Compendium, so it will cover the important breed, okay, important livestock breed, okay, as well as the disease, okay, that and the husbandry, okay, so that is needed for a particular breed, okay, and then the feeding, and also at the end there issues or topic related to safety or quality of the product, for example the meat, the milk and the egg, okay, and also the pathogen that can affect the product or that can cause any food safety issues, okay. So again, like the Aquaculture Compendium, this is a relational database. So when one look at a particular livestock species, maybe a cattle, you can take a look at what other vectors or parasites that can affect the particular breed of livestock. Okay, and then you can link in and out related to the when you are within a particular data sheet. And then as who would use this? Of course, people who work in the livestock industry, okay, veterinarian, people who supply farmers, okay, livestock farmers, as well as researchers or students, okay, if you are working in this particular area. Okay, the last compendium that is available in UMT is the Crop Protection Compendium. As the title suggests, this is related to how you protect your crops, okay, from pests and diseases, okay. So basically what it covers is, it covers the major economic importance crop as well as minor crops. So important crops like cereal, wheat, rice, okay, and then it also cover commodity crops like oil palm, soya, and also cocoa, for example, and also minor crops. It could be some new tropical fruits that we have, okay, that you can also, and then you can look at that crops, data sheets about the crops, also data sheets about pests and disease or weed that affect the cultivations of particular crops, okay. Beside that, it also include data sheets on natural enemy. Okay, beside using chemical control for the pests and diseases, you can also look at the option of using a natural enemy or biocontrol, okay, for a particular pest and diseases. Okay, so quite similar to the structure of the aquaculture compendium and animal health. So it would have the content will include the crop, the distributions, or the distributions, the risk of introductions. Here, if you're talking about pests and diseases, symptoms, the natural enemy, prevention and control, and many more. So I would maybe show you, it will be clearer when we do a live demo, okay? And what is unique about Crop Protections Compendium, Crop Protections Compendium is it includes an additional tool, which is called the Horizon Scanning Tool, okay? For anyone that would like to, if you want to monitor, you know, what is the possible cross-border invasive species threat, you can use this tool to help in terms of getting a list of possible species to look out for. Okay, so this to show you the relationship, okay, between the data sheets. Okay, that is quite similar structure compared as to the earlier two compendium. So what is different here is here it includes another type of data sheet, which is the vector, okay, for a particular pest. So it also include vector, which is basically the insects that can carry particular plant pests. Okay. Okay, and who use it? Basically, this is relevant to students and lecturers that is working in crop protections, okay, as well as entomologists, people who are studying insects, okay, as well as plant pathologists, researcher that is working on plant disease. Okay. So as you can see, as I mentioned earlier, compendium is quite unique because it's not just a database of bibliographic references or journal. It actually contains information that you can quickly use as a reference to help you identify, you know, what pests can attack the crop, how do you deal with particular pests and diseases, and how, and within here also you can find the most recent updated references or journal articles or proceedings related to the issues that you are looking at. Okay, so that is basically about the compendium. So before I go into the live demo, so usually I think a lot of times when we go into a database, we use it something quite similar to how we search a Google. Okay, so maybe, you know, we will think of some items and we will just quickly enter into Google Scholar or Google Search. But it will be good if I think it will be more effective, or if you can try to use what you call the PICO framework when you do your bibliographic search in a specialist database. Okay, like I think PICO is usually used in medical field, okay, for systematic review, but I think it can also apply in general life science research, okay, where you can first identify the relevant keyword related to each of these components. Okay, for example, populations. Okay, what are you searching on? Okay, for example, if you're interested in disease of rice, okay, so your populations will be, you will think of the keyword rice. Okay, what else besides rice? So you can think of, maybe you can use a scientific name, Oryza sativa, And then what else? What other terms you should use for populations? So this is to help you frame or think about the keyword that you can use to describe the populations that you are searching. It can be about a crop, or it can be about livestock, it can be about aquatic species. For example, maybe you're searching about crab. Okay, what crab? Maybe mud crab. So is there any other terms you should use for mud crab? So this is to describe the populations. And then the next concept, what kind of interventions are you looking at? Are you looking at maybe chemical control, or are you looking at nutrition, increase of nutrition? Okay, so what are the terms that you need to, or maybe you're talking about fortifications, you're talking about additive. So what are the terms that you need to include in terms of intervention? And then here you want to do a comparison. Okay, so maybe you can think of, is it related to methods? Okay, control, non-control. Okay, so is there a comparison that you want to search? And then the outcome. Okay, so here I think the example, is it to increase yield, to reduce losses from diseases, okay, or maybe to change the behavior of the farmer, for example. Okay, so these are the outcomes. So if you can break it down, concept by concept, so it's easier for you to get a more comprehensive keyword, okay, when you perform your search, so that your search result will be much more accurate. Okay, so this is just a framework. So if you're interested, there is a lot of material about PICO framework in the web. So you can just Google if you are interested to know more about how to use this PICO framework in your bibliographic search. Okay, so this is the example. Okay, so how you can break it down concept by concept. Okay, so that when you do your searches, it's easier and you don't miss out anything. Okay, for example, climate change. Okay, is there another word? Climatic change, global warming. So when you want to find a keyword, okay, usually, of course, you can use Wikipedia. Okay, but there is what we call within CABI resources, we have what we call a tool. Okay, especially this is a Thesaurus tool where it can help you to identify keywords, okay, relevant keyword to do your search. Okay, I will come back to this, how you can use this tool, Thesaurus, in a live demo later on when we do some searches live. Okay. This is a couple of slides that I have here to guide you to access CABI Compendium remotely from home. If let's say you are not accessing it on campus, okay, you can use this method to access remotely from home or from wherever you are. Okay, so I think here, because I'm not the experts for the UMT library portal, so if there is any error or anything, just feel free to step in. Yeah. So once you go into the library portal, okay. So basically at the bottom there, you can see there is a e-resource, okay, that you can click here. Okay, once you are in the e-resource page, you should log in using what we call the easy proxy. Okay, so when you click into the easy proxy, you can see the off-campus access. So you click here, okay, using your UMT email. Okay. and also your password. Okay, so your username and password. Once you have logged in, so basically you can see you have access to all the content, the resource provided to you by UMT library. So CABI resource is located under C, okay, and for all the compendium, you can access through that. I think UMT library also have access via Shibboleth and Open Athens. So if you log in, you can say when you log in later on, I can show you where. I hope that works. Okay, you can click on access via institution, and then you can search for UMT, University Malaysia Terengganu, and you log in through that. Okay, so you can try that later on. If there is any issue, just let us know. So once you're in, you'll be able to see, you are signed in as University Malaysia Terengganu. So if you are not logged in, what you will see here, it asks you to log in. So without logging in, you won't be able to, you can still see you can still do a search, but you won't be able to access the full content when you click on your search result. All right, shall we go into a live demo? Okay. Let me exit this page, and I would share my screen. Okay. All right. I think I've done this before. Okay. So this is once let's say this is one of the compendium I have mentioned earlier. Can you see boleh nampak tak ini Aquaculture Compendium page?
Ya, boleh.
Boleh ya? Okay. This is one of the compendium that we have gone through earlier. Okay. I'm currently accessing it through CABI Malaysia. So just now I would try to log out. Okay, I think if I log in, basically I'm doing this so that you can see the Open Athens. Yeah, if you log in via your institution, yeah. So if you click on that, this would show. So by right, University Malaysia Terengganu. I want to check. No, it's not showing. You can try this. I think the other time we couldn't did that. Sorry?
Spelling error tadi.
Ada, tak boleh.
Bukan, salah eja Terengganu tadi.
Oh, University Malaysia Terengganu, betul?
Baru betul.
Yeah. So by right it would appear because saya punya IP address tak sama dengan where you are at. So you can try. If you can't, just let us know. I think before that we did try to solve this. So just let us know whether it works for your end. So there's two ways, either easy proxy and via Open Athens. So to do that via Open Athens, so you just have to try to use this one. Click login via your institution. Yeah. So if you are on campus, let's say you are logging in via campus or easy proxy, So you should be, that means you're logging in via IP address. Okay, so once I say you can see you have already logged in before. Okay, it will show you UMT library. What you do is at this page you just click on return to the website because it already recognized your IP address. Yeah, so I return to site. That means you go back to your UMT if you're from UMT here, because I'm logging in via CABI Malaysia IP address. All right. So as I think kalau tadi ingat lagi the type of content available in compendium. Okay, so on the top page you can see that the main content is basically the data sheets. So it's also supported by bibliographic references and full text material. Okay, and there is also a library material. Most of the library material can be things like books. Maybe I can show you a little bit. Proceedings, you know, it could be journals. Okay, so these are the library material. Okay, you can go into each of these if you want to have a look at each of these type of material, or more resources. More resources is basically a link out to additional information on a verified site. Okay, like Sanisa, which is very well known for aquatic resource, KOIE, aquatic manual, and drug database. So you can have a look at the link out. So you could browse. Okay, if you go through, you could browse. If you have no topic in mind, you can browse. These are the latest one. It will be at the top. Okay, and or you can do a search. Okay, when you do a search, for example, maybe the example here I use mud crab, maybe MUD CRAB, mud crab. So here, sometimes you're not sure is mud crab the right terms to use. Okay, maybe you can try maybe mud crab. Okay. Okay, here I won't be going through this. I want to call the Boolean operator. For those who are not familiar with Boolean operator, basically it's a search operator that you can use to, it's basically and, or, and not. And also this is what they call the phrase searching. So that when you do a search, it's searching for mud crab instead of mud and crab. Okay, so so you can do a search, for example. Okay, when you do a search, basically it will search across all kind of material. All right, so if you want to limit your search within only one particular type of content, you can limit it if you wish. Okay, if not, it will search across the content. Okay, so once you have searched the result, okay, you can see the content that you get. You have journal, data sheets, conference paper is quite a lot. It's about 900 over. Okay, and you can also refine it to, you can sort it by the most recent, oldest, alphabetical, or if you only want to see maybe Malaysia, for example, you can click on it and to refine it further to only 35 results related to mud crab. Okay, and then within there you can filter it by types of content. Let's say I want to look at journal article, or you want to look at data sheets. Okay, and then within the data sheets you can further refine it. Okay, and then at the bottom, these are the bibliographic filter. Okay, if let's say from here you can see who are the most prolific researcher on mud crab. Okay, and you can filter it down by maybe a specific species of mud crab, and also the topic. All right, so basically within the data sheets, okay, maybe what I want to show you, instead of going into data sheets, what I want to show you earlier is when you put mud crab, if you want to find out whether the right terms is being used, you can go to other CABI site. I think this is the one that I think would be useful, which is called the Captosaurus, okay, where you can check for the terms that you use. Okay, for example, crab, C-R-A-B. Okay, is this the right term? C-R-A-B, sorry, crab. Okay, is this the right term? Okay, as you can see, there is a lot of crab culture, crab meat, crab roost, crab farming. So it will give you a lot of content. Okay, let's say crab culture. So it gives you a related terms called crabs. Okay, instead of singular, it gives you a plural terms, crab. And as you can see, I think this is a preferred, the plural terms is a preferred term. Okay, and then within the term, let's say this is a preferred term, you can see there is other related term, shellfish, or you can go to a broader terms that will give you a more what to call suggestions related to this particular family. Okay, so if you want to look at the taxonomy hierarchy, okay, especially for species, okay, so this is a very useful term if you want to target your search to a very for example, a very specific species. Okay, so as you can see, mud crab is quite a generic, or crab can be quite a generic term. So okay, so what is the right terms to use for mud crab? So you can search from here. Okay, so what I understand is mud crab is under Scala. Okay, so this is basically the scientific term for mud crab. Okay, and then within this mud crab species, you have other subspecies. Okay, so which one is it that you are targeting? So let's say this is the one that I am looking at in particular. Okay, you can basically edit it in. Let's see, I don't want this. Okay, so I want to search for this particular species based on the scientific name. Okay, instead of mud crab here, I use a scientific name to do a search. So as you can see, the difference here, it is much more specific. Okay, instead of 900 plus, you are getting a very specific return of a particular species. Okay, so this is here, as you can see, mud crab. This is a particular species that they are looking at. Okay, so from here you can see that for CABI database, it's always much better to use the scientific terms if you know the scientific terms. If not, you can always use this what we call the Captosaurus to check for the right terms or to check for the right species to search. Okay, so where you can find it within here. Okay, when you click on other CABI site, it is listed here. Okay, So beside aquatic species, you can also find a lot of content within the thesaurus that you can search. For example, you want to search for methods, you can also use that. Okay, so yeah, so here this is an example of a particular data sheet. Okay. So as I mentioned, within the data sheets, you have quite a bit. You have the description, the scientific name, okay, and then you have the pictures. Each of these images you can basically cut and paste, okay, as long as you acknowledge them, okay, and also it will also give you common names. Okay, it's also known as mangrove crab, mud crab, orange mud crab, red mud crab. But to pinpoint a specific species, is always preferred to use the scientific terms. Okay, and then you have the taxonomy, and then within there, you can see there is a link. This is where I'm talking about the link in and out the relationship database to show you that this particular species is affected by this list of disease and disorder. So as you click on the particular link of disease and disorder, it will then take you to that data sheets of that particular pathogen. Okay, and then it would also show you this particular pathogen, what other species that it can infect, okay, the host animal. So if let's say if you want to do a simple diagnostic, you can use this to look at one particular species and what are the disease and disorder that it can affect this particular species. Okay, so beside that, as I mentioned, within the data sheet is also you can link it out to related data sheets related to this particular species. Here is a case studies linked out. So for example, here you want to look at the case studies related to fattening of this mud crab in Bangladesh, for example. Okay, so you have this is a case studies data sheets, okay, to describe how the mud crab are being fattened up before it is sold to the market. Okay, so and then there's a lot of content that you can go through. Okay, and then so these are the sections that you can maybe you want to look at the ecosystems, the outgrowth systems, and within each of the systems that they use, okay, let's say the caging system, you want to know more. When you click on it, it would take you to another data sheet related to the system. So as you can see, you can always click on, and then you get more information about, let's say this is about the grow out system, the cage systems. Okay, so this is just to show you, to demonstrate, the power of a relational database, that you can get more content related to that particular topic that you're interested in. So if let's say you are interested to use this maybe case studies, okay, for your lecture or for your project paper, okay, and there is a tool called the Generate Report tool, okay, where you can customize your own data sheet. Okay, when you click on the tool, you can select the sections that you are interested in. Let's say I'm interested mainly in the ecosystem, the cultured species, and this one. All right, and then also maybe some description. Okay, let's say I put it up. Okay, you can arrange it. Maybe the ecosystem. Okay, ecosystem. Okay, then you can generate your own report. If for lecturer, maybe you want to use this as a handout in your lecture. Okay, you can print it out, save it in the Word document or HTML. Okay, it's basically it's up to you. So you could play around with the sections that you want and generate report. Okay, so this is quite a useful tool. And also when you do a search, okay, as I mentioned, you also have a lot of bibliographic references related to, for example, mud crab. I want to look at the journal article. Okay, there's 85 of this journal article. Okay, so as you can see, these are very recent. Okay, 2021. If let's say your library actually subscribe to this particular journal, this is from Elsevier. If you click on it, you read the abstract and you are interested in to read the full article, you can then click on the DOI. Okay, if your library has a subscription to this particular journal, you would then be able to access it. So if let's say your library do not have a subscription, normally you ask you to purchase. So in that case, maybe you can check with your librarian to see whether it's possible to get access to this via interlibrary loan, or if it's maybe the library have a print copy. Maybe you can also check on the OPAC whether the library has this particular journal. Okay, so if let's say the particular article is let me see whether there's anyone. Aquaculture research. Okay, let's say this one. Some of the articles we also host the full text. For example, here, okay, if there is a full text button here, means that CABI hosts a full text, and you can go in there and download it. This is basically an open access article. Okay, and sometimes don't stop there. Always try to access the what do you call, go into the abstract record, try to check on the DOI. Okay, sometimes it is an open access. For example, this one, although CABI doesn't host the full text, okay, this is actually an open access article, and you can download the article through the open access site. All right, so it would tell you from here, okay, this is a free full text, it's an open access, so you can click here, or you can click on the DOI to get access to the full text article. Okay, for example, here maybe you are interested to keep all these references, 85 for your reference. Maybe you want to refer to it later on. Okay, as you can see from the result page, there is nowhere you can save. Okay, so what you need to do here, in order to save the bibliographic references, you need to sign on, click on the My CABI. Okay, once you have, then you need to sign in or register if you do not yet have a My CABI account. So to sign in is on the right hand side. You just fill in the detail. If you already have the account, you just sign in. Okay, so I'm a little bit over time, so I'll try to wrap it up quickly. Please. Okay, once you have signed in, okay, let's say I return back to the result page. Okay, this is the one, the result page. Okay, you will see that this would appear, right? Before that, this is not available to you. So once you have signed into My CABI, So you would have the tools to, let's say you can save it, okay, or you can mark all, okay, for example here, okay, all these buttons will appear. Let's say I want to save all the 85, I just open to 100 record per page, and then I want to mark all of it, okay, and then I would want to save them, okay. I want to save all these record. Okay, so once you have signed in, so there's a lot more that you can do. Okay, for example, once you have saved your record, then when you go into your CABI, right, so you can then export, or okay, let's say this is my save record, for example. Okay, so let's say this is the one that I want, okay, and then you can print the record, email the record, or export the citation. Export citation, mainly it is you can export in the RIS format, so you can put it into your EndNotes, okay, and also you can save your searches if you want to, okay, and create a RSS feed if you want to. So there is a lot more you can do if you sign up to CABI. If you do not sign into CABI, so you would discover that once you have your result page, you couldn't really export it or save it easily. So do remember to these CABI features. So I would just stop here. Do feel free to explore. There is a help page for more information on the search, and also about page there for more information on how you cite. If you say you're taking material from the data sheets, how do you cite them? So these are some example. So I will just stop here because we are running over time. I'm now going back to so far ada soalan tak? So very quickly I will go into ebooks. Ada soalan? Tak ada? Okay, so ebooks is very quick. So CABI has been publishing books for a very long time. So as you can see, there are books from 1988, and it is actually the same. You know, we have been publishing it up to currently has become like a 2-volume set. Okay, and then we also have books that is authored by a very prestigious author. Okay, and usually CABI books have a very long shelf life, you know, because insects, the morphology and a lot of behavior of the insects and animals doesn't really change. Okay, and it is a very well design platform. So what does it cover? Basically, CABI ebooks covers everything on agriculture. Okay, from agriculture economy to productivity to farming to policy, okay, to business, okay, agriculture business, as well as veterinary and animal sciences. Animal sciences will include aquaculture and fishery science, okay, beside animals, okay, other animals, as well as the environment. Okay, environment can be include forest down to the soil, to climate change, to sustainability, organic farming, to biodiversity and conservation. And it also include food that we consume, that means from farm to the plate, to the nutrition value, as well as the disease related to that, and the related disease. Okay, here I think this is becoming very important. One, health. That means you're talking about health of human. In order for the human to be healthy, the animal and the environmental health also need to look into environmental and animal health. Okay, so we're talking about One Health, which is a very hot topic at the moment. Okay, and then it also has content related to tourism. I think UMT has quite a lot of research related to sustainable tourism, which CABI is very strong in, and also plant sciences, okay, which would have horticulture, horticulture sciences, breeding, plant protections, etc. So at this within UMT library, okay, you currently have 270 titles, okay, from year 2000 to 2016, okay. So so the content, I just want to show you, okay, these are some of the content that you can access. Okay, you have ecology, just open up. Okay, so these are some of the content that you have, okay, and then another 2011 and 2013, okay. So to access it is very simple, just like browsing a bookshelf. Okay, so because I'm accessing it through CABI account, so basically I'm looking at I have all the access. So but for UMT library, you'll be looking at these two collections, okay, 2011 to 2016. So basically what you have is you can browse by subject area. Okay, let's say I'm looking at animal and veterinary. Okay, or you can do a search. Okay, or you can do a search. Let's say I'm looking at, let's say, let's say I'm looking at aquaculture. Okay, so yeah, so you can look at, so when you search, okay, you can have the option to search by particular subject area, or you can also filter it. Let's say I only want to look at the whole book and not the chapter. So you can limit it to the book title itself. Okay, so you can then look at the book title itself. Okay, yeah. So this is very very simple. Any questions? Ada soalan tak? Okay, this is ebooks. Ada soalan? Tak ada. Okay, so the next one, this is mainly is an open access peer, what we call preprint server. Okay, for those who are interested to share their research, let's say once they have completed their research and they want to share it quickly to the world before publishing it in a journal. Okay, because journal usually would take 2 or 3 months for peer review process, but they would like to share it first. Okay, this is called a preprint server, the Agri Archive, that you could, any researcher or students or early career researcher can share their research through this Agri Archive, the agriarchive.org. Okay. Sorry. Okay, what it does here is basically once you submit an article to this preprint server, once it's accepted, usually within a week, okay, you will be allocated a DOI, okay, and then with a permanent DOI and an ORCID ID against the preprint. Okay, it's free of charge. There's no charge for submission. And it will be indexed in Google Scholar. Okay, and also is free and open. People can access your research, and maybe if they want to comment, they can give them their input. Okay, and then to raise the awareness, and you can claim your research first. Okay, so this is the advantage of having to share your article in the preprint server. All right, this is not a journal article yet because it's no peer review. Okay, basically to allow people to share and disseminate your knowledge quickly, okay, before it's published in the journal. So if you want to go to one step further, okay, CABI has an open access journal called the CABI Agriculture and Bioscience. Okay, it is an open access journal. So if you are interested to explore this, you can just go to CABI AgBio at biomedcentral.com to have a look. Okay, but this is a journal, so it would have a peer review process to be accepted. So I think that's all for today. Ada soalan tak? Tak ada? No questions? Okay, so if there's no questions, I think that's all for today. I'd like to thank you very much for your attention and for inviting CABI for this outreach program.
Okay, thank you, Madam Lina, for all the information about CABI Compendium today. So, I think we don't have any question. Okay. In chat, Abu Hena, Dr. Abu Hena, say very good information. Thank you. So thank you again, Madam Lina.
Thank you for inviting us. So if you need any further session, just get in touch.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So take care, everyone.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. So, Madam? Oh, dah.